Rob Murphy and Alex Bregman have both enjoyed tremendous Major League Baseball careers. Alex's career, of course, is still ongoing, having just concluded his 8th season in the big leagues, all with the Houston Astros. Rob wrapped up his 11-year pitching career July 22nd, 1995, after playing for several teams, including the Reds, Red Sox, Mariners, and Cardinals. And yeah, he even spent 1 year with the Houston Astros. But their passion for baseball isn't the only thing that unites them. Their love of horse racing is what brings them together in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf on Friday afternoon. And Alex is the owner of No Name Mets. Rob is involved with the ownership of a horse appropriately named Slider. So, Rob, let me start with you for a minute, my friend. I appreciate both of you being here. Alex was just 16 months old when you wrapped up your career in 1995. But now, thanks to this incredible sport of thoroughbred racing, you guys finally get to face each other, and you do it on the big stage.
It's amazing how baseball and horses tie together in so many ways. And, I've got one of my daughters is older than Alex, and when I look back and see, look at his career in Houston, a place I love to play, and realize that time passes, but the further you get down the road, the closer things come back together. So this is going to be a great event, as it is always with Breeders' Cup, but now I can see a friendship coming from this.
Well, Alex, you joined me here on HRN last November to talk about watching your horse Gold Blooded win at Churchill Downs. And one of the things that you mentioned during our conversation was your goal of competing in big races and building your operation from the ground up. Man, I think running in a $1 million Breeders' Cup race is going to let you check off one of those boxes.
Yeah, it's crazy. And, super thankful that we've got a horse that's been able to take us on this ride already to the Breeders' Cup, such a prestigious event. It's such an honor to be competing this year in the Breeders' Cup races that myself and my family have watched for so long. And it's going to be great to get there and see so many incredible horses. And we're really, really looking forward to it. And I don't know, maybe the World Series and this is the most excited I've ever been for a sporting event. So I'm pretty fired up.
You told me that it was only a couple of years ago you were at Del Mar for the Breeders' Cup, and you thought, hey, this horse ownership thing might be kind of cool.
Oh, 100%. My family's been in the business for a while, and last time we were at the Breeders' Cup, we were like, hey, maybe we should get a horse, and we ended up buying our first horse in 2021 at the Keeneland September sale, and he actually was on the road to the same exact race, and he ended up getting hurt on the track. He came back this year actually and made a race again, but we vowed, we were like, hey, we want to try and find a horse in Europe that could run in the juvenile turf sprint. And sometimes I guess you get lucky, and we were fortunate enough to find this horse, and now we're really excited.
No Name Mets 4-1 on the morning line. Slider is 8-1 on the morning line. And Rob, you are not the sole owner of this horse. You're involved with the folks at West Point Thoroughbreds and some of the other ownership groups. So walk me through how this relationship with Slider came to be.
Terry Finley and I have known each other for almost 30 years, being, both involved, both doing racing partnerships. And, we participated in some owner view events, things like that. So it's, you see somebody from across the aisle and it's like, all right, great, and you see them in the paddock, and, each of you has your own success. And a couple years ago, I had actually been hospitalized with COVID for a couple of weeks and missed the Saratoga sale. And there was a pedigree in this sale that I wanted to get involved with. And it was a horse that Terry Finley actually purchased through West Point. And after I got out of the hospital, I talked to Terry, and, they had pretty much finished syndication, but Terry made it work. So we got part of a horse, and that horse is now named Battle of Normandy, and he won his first race at Saratoga last summer, ran second in With Anticipation. He was actually in last year's Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, and he ran fifth with a closing 3 lengths in the stretch, and almost got in the money with it. So it was exciting last year, and so we've gone beyond and with West Point, and ended up getting in on Slider, who was already named when the group bought him. And Terry made it sure, caught my attention that he had noticed the name and knew that, any pitcher in the big leagues for 10 plus years got to have a good slider at some point. So we got involved with the horse, and this horse can run him. He's won 2 of his 3 starts, and winning the local prep in the Speakeasy at Santa Anita a month ago puts him in good stead for this race right here.
Alex, you've handled plenty of good sliders in your days. How does No Name Mets handle this slider coming up on Friday?
Well, I think both horses will most likely be forwardly placed. They both like running towards the front of the race. Both have won on the lead, and I think it'll be interesting how this race shapes out. Obviously, we drew the inside right next to some other speed and sliders way far on the outside in the 11 hole, but I think both horses will be forwardly placed, and I think both will be in the mix when it comes time to turn it on down the stretch. So I don't know. I think both horses. I know our horse is doing really well, and I've seen West Point on social media talking about how well Slider's doing. So it should be a really, really fun race. I think both horses are the top tier in this field.
No Name Mets is 3 for 4 lifetime. One of the really interesting things when you look at his past performances, Alex, he's never raced in anything other than a stakes race. He's always been highly regarded.
Yeah, we were actually going to put him in that. We put him in that same OBS sale that Slider went in, and he didn't meet the reserve. And we actually said, you know what, the way this horse galloped out and the way he did it, he's ready to roll right now. So Kieran Dunn, who is a close friend of ours who breaks all of our horses down in Ocala at Wavertree, called George Weaver and said, George, I know you're still in Florida. Will you show this horse the starting gate and give him a chance to run in 17 days? It's probably moving a little quick, but will you do it? And George said, sure, I'll try it. He went in the starting gate for the first time, I think 7 days before his first start. He broke 2 steps slow, and we were like, don't know what's going to happen here. And we debuted him in a stake 7 days later, and he broke on the lead and won going away by 5. So he's been a really, really fun, smart horse. He went to Ascot. Obviously, he didn't like the soft ground over there. But I hear Santa Anita's pretty firm, so he should like the ground like he has his other 3 starts here in the United States. But you never know. That's what's so fun about it. So we're excited.
The other cool part of his story is trainer George Weaver and his wife Cindy, who suffered that traumatic brain injury when galloping a horse at Saratoga last year. She is now thankfully back with the operation. I talked to George not long ago, and it's great to see her back around the horses again. And, boy, what an emotional win it would be if No Name Mets could pull off the victory.
It would be incredible, and it's amazing in the horse business how many people help with getting these horses into the position that they're in. And George's whole team has been incredible. I've loved getting to know everyone. George has been incredible in teaching me about horse racing. I know I probably call him way too much during during the year and ask him way too many questions, but he answers every single one of them, and it's honestly been amazing to work with him all year long. So I can't say enough good things about him and his team. And it would be incredible to get him and Cindy a Breeders' Cup.
Rob, Alex has told me before that watching his horses run makes him more nervous than standing at the plate with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. Do you get that nervous too?
I got to answer that question 23 years ago when we ran our first horse, a homebred Platinum Tiara, in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. And everybody wanted to know what was easier to handle. Well, in baseball, you got the hitter in the box, catcher's back there, umpire's back there. I'm on the mound, and I've got the ball. So I'm in total control of when the action starts. In this business, as Alex just stated, he's got to call the trainer all the time to find out what's going on. And on race day, you all show up, and as much control as the trainer has, they grab the leg of the jock put the jock up on the horse, and now the trainer is out of control too. It's up to the jock and the racing gods. So it's no doubt I felt more comfortable on that orange mound, 60 feet 6 inches away from home plate. But this is quite the thrill. I mean, it's always teamwork, and the adrenaline rush is amazing.
Alex, same for you?
Oh, 100%. I mean, in baseball, you kind of can control. You can control how you perform. You can control how you prepare. You can control the mindset that you have in the batter's box. And here, it's kind of out of your control, and it's nerve-wracking. My dad said, "Now you know how I feel when I watch you play baseball."
That's a great line. I'm going to stay out of your way with this next question, guys. I'll let you kind of bounce back and forth for a couple of minutes here. But you're both known for naming horses after baseball terminology. So, Rob, Alex, talk about some of the names that are some of your favorites so far.
Well, let me see. I'm going to go first. I know that Alex has got, a horse named Game 7, which he'll elaborate on and all that. But through the years with some of my partnerships, we've had some of my teammates, Tom Browning, Tom Pagnozzi involved. And we almost exclusively had baseball names. So, Alex, I want you to know, Mike asked me off the air how I would get you out if I was facing you as a pitcher. And I know you're one of the diamond studs of baseball, and you're always wearing those golden spikes. And my job is try to get strike 3 on you. Sometimes it comes from a swing and miss, or maybe you get caught looking. But on Saturday, it's going to be about the slider.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Rob, that was brilliant. And those are all names of horses that you've had in the past, correct?
Absolutely, 100%. Wow, that was good. I'm not going to be able to top that, but we've named some of our horses Game 7. He broke his maiden last year as a 2-year-old up at Parks. He was a PA bred. We have No Name Mets, who long story there. Not gonna tell it yet, but we've had a few good names. My wife actually has been naming most of the horses, so now we're gonna have to add some more baseball names to the stable here moving forward after Mets has been a good success for us. But I'll tell you this, we played the New York Mets a few times this year, and they have a really good lineup, and one thing we couldn't get them out with was the slider. So we're
Well, I'm not a fan of the Mets myself, and my daughter Scarlett, when she went to school in New York City, she said, "Dad, I can't be a Yankee fan because I'm really a Red Sox fan. Can I be a Mets fan?" And I said, "Absolutely no." And she's like, "Why is that?" I said, "Well, go on YouTube and do a search for 1986 Reds-Mets fight. And when you watch those videos, you'll know why I'm not a Mets fan. That's for sure."
Rob, we've got about 2 minutes left here before we have to wrap up the interview. But I want you guys to give me your best baseball/horse racing story, whether it's, Rob, when you were playing. I know you played with Pete Rose with Cincinnati. Tell me a little bit about that best story that you have with baseball as it relates to horse racing.
Well, the best story I can't say on a recorded line. But there was a pretty good one. The first Saturday of spring training, first year in big league camp, I was warming up on one of our minor league fields to throw BP, and Pete came over and was chatting with me, and my mom and dad were there because they loved being at spring training. And a gentleman behind them said, "Gosh, I wonder what Pete Rose is telling that rookie pitcher to throw fastballs or curveballs or whatever." And my parents, being my parents, turned around and said, "Hey, that's our son. We'll find out for you." So after the workout, I met this man. He's like, "What was Pete telling you?" I said, "Pete asked me who was going to win the Florida Derby today over at Gulfstream." So I gave him Proud Truth and Stefan's Odyssey and the Exact, and it hit. So, I ended up making the team that year.
I think my best baseball and horse racing memory so far has been last year, actually. We were all in Texas, and we were debuting our first ever racehorse, and we had the entire team was glued to the TV for the whole build up for the 30 minutes before the race. In the paddock, as soon as they showed our horse Cadillac Candy, the entire team went nuts, and we were all watching the race, and he came flying from the back of the pack to finish second at Keeneland on debut, and everyone was losing their mind, and I had a blast. So moving on, everyone's like, hey, whenever you have a horse race, we really want to watch it. And every year we never get to watch the Kentucky Derby because we're always playing at that time. But this year we were playing in Seattle, and the entire team was able to watch the Derby. And we always have like a Derby thing where everyone gets to pick a horse, and the whole team decided, hey, this year we're all going to pick the same horse, and we're all going to go crazy for one horse. And we decided on Mage. So when Mage turned for home, there were tables being flipped, food being thrown in the air. It was like we just won the World Series. Champagne showers in the clubhouse with Coca-Cola or water or whatever it was before a game, and guys were going nuts. And to be honest, that's horse racing is so fun, and it's so thrilling, and there's just so much excitement for that 2 minutes that I think it's safe to say that our entire team is enormous horse racing fans now, and hopefully we can continue to grow the sport and continue to show how fun it is to the world.
Alex Bregman, No Name Mets, Rob Murphy, Slider squaring off in the Juvenile turf sprint coming up on Friday. Guys, really appreciate the visit. Enjoy California, and we will talk again soon. All the best. Good luck.
Thank you. See you guys out there.
See you, Mike.